Okay, so we're back for a review slash recap of episode 7, Ready to Love Miami. And the title of this one is Queens Don't Chase. That's like a recurring theme on the show, it seems, because there's always somebody telling one of these men that they're not being assertive enough or they're not taking an initiative. So we got a lot of that going on this episode, but the women, the ladies are checking the men about it. Um so they continue they continue with that group meeting that they had that was going down bad really fast. So Jeffrey and Blake are both saying that the other is lying, and at this point I don't know whether it happened. Did she say it? Did she not say it? Did she he said she lying? So I don't know, but now it looks like it's clear that he's like, okay, he understands that his only ally is Sue. So he gotta, if he wanna stay in this, he has to, you know, stick with Sue. Sue has to stick with him too, because even though she got like a slight connection with Anthony, Anthony seems like he's a little bit intimidated with her. But it looks like he likes her. But then, like, the thing about these shows is, you know, yeah, it's called Ready to Love, but the chances of you walking out of your house right now and being attracted to the next 10 people of the opposite sex that you see is really slim to none. You know what I mean? Like, so they're all taking a chance going into the show, and they don't know what they're going to get. So I would think, as a viewer, the first thing you knock off your list is, are we attracted to each other, right? If you are not attracted to anybody, then you have to make a decision to just stay to get to know people and see if you are attracted to somebody that way. But it's a game. They all trying to stay into the end. So it's really, really, really crazy. And then add to that the fact that we're watching the show and we see the couples and the singles and we see them talking to each other. But, thinking about the fact that there's like a camera crew on the other side, at least one person holding a camera to film their dates, like that is extra, like it's an extra put on the spot feeling. Like I was looking at Anthony um when he was on that date with Sue at his house. And when she was asking him questions and stuff, when she got to that question about, she was waiting for him to say something about her being on his list and what he liked about her or whatever. And it was that awkward silence. At that moment, I was like, you know what? That cameraman is right there in his face, and he seems like a guy that's a little bit shy or whatever. And I could just see it being so awkward trying to have a one-on-one moment with somebody with a camera in your face. So again, I always say kudos to them for actually going through with it, because it's probably a lot. It's probably a lot. Um, you are trying to have real conversations, but somebody's watching you because they're right in your face, and then it's going to be on TV. So that is pretty awkward. But anyway, back to this. They have that group meeting, and Jeffrey and Blake go back and forth. Sue jumps in, says, keep my name out your mouth or whatever. And then so Jeffrey and not Jeffrey, Sue Ann and Blake have a little moment on the couch, and Blake tells her how he's proud of how she handled herself, and he sees everything going good from this point, and it kind of brought them closer. Now that just seems like non-genuine to me, but I get it. They have to hold on to each other because Blake doesn't have anybody that wants to talk to him. But Anthony, as Sue Ann said, Anthony is hanging on by a thread. But so right after they did the get together, Tommy told them to go eat. So they didn't all eat together. They had like all these different tables and couches and stuff, and so they kind of like mingled around and worked the room. And so Andre's back. We already know that. He came in like the champ is here. Um, he goes and he talks to all the women. He gives them out his hugs and spreading his energy around. Now, I'm gonna say I was not paying attention to Andre initially because that little dingleberry in the top of his head. I was just like, oh my god. But I have to say, the way that he came in, took some time off and still came back with all his connections except for one, is that says a lot about how hard he was making connections or whatever, because all of the ladies were glad to see him back except for Mercedes, because Mercedes is really feeling Mark Anthony. So anyway, so he goes around and they show him talking to everybody first. Like he talked to Marcia, he talked to Cynthia, he spun Jeffrey around and was dancing with her right beside Morgan. And then after that, they show him talking to, I'm sorry, not Morgan, Mercedes. Why can't I get that girl's name right? But they show him talking to Jeffrey, and like I said, Andre knows how to handle situations where women are feeling emotional, because he made Cynthia feel comfortable. He did the same thing with Jeffrey, and who knows what else might have happened that we didn't see on camera or whatever, as far as other women he may have been there for as well. So he's making his connections, he's making his rounds, and Jeffrey gonna have some decisions to make. But after he talked to Jeffrey, he went to go talk to Mercedes, and you can see Jeffrey in the background giving a little side eye as she walking by, whatever. Mercedes don't look impressed at all. She's very like, ugh, he about to say the same thing again, because Andre is really upset that Mercedes did not check on him while he was out sick. Now Jeffrey was contacting him while he was sick, and he let her know that he appreciated that or whatever. So he really holding this against Morgan, and I can see both sides. I see Morgan's side. Oh, shit. I see Mercedes' side in the situation. She probably was thinking, I like Mark Anthony. That other dude is gone. Oh well. That's how I think she was thinking. But then I can also see Andre's side, because Andre seems like he got a little bit of compassion with him. So that was something that really meant a lot to him. And so once she said out of sight, out of mind, he was like, he hurt. He pretty much dismissed himself after that. So Tony and Morgan go off to the side, and I feel like Morgan showed a little bit of her crazy in this episode. Like, women always hide the crazy, especially in the beginning. I mean, you don't want to scare nobody off, but she definitely let her crazy show a little bit, because she was making like these threats to him and she was laughing afterwards, and there was a lot of laughter after everything she said. And it was just like, damn, Tony, I don't know whether you're in danger or what, because Morgan wants him to stop being friendly with everybody. I guess she wants him to cut off all his connections right now. We are halfway through the season, and she wanted him to clean it up, and she basically made it known, look, those lips are mine. So, but Tony likes that shit. Tony really likes that shit. You could tell in his face. He ended that whole situation with a kiss after she said all these things that some men would have just been like, what is she talking about? But he likes that. He really likes that. And I'm not saying he want women to fight over him, but I think he kind of do. Smooth Tony from up top, but I think Tony might be in danger. He might be in danger, but we'll see. And I say he might be in danger because he does seem like a little playboy, so I can see him getting in trouble later. But so then I saw Tony go up and talk to Monique, and look at how he liked her too. He really liked her. Okay, so then Tommy comes back and they have to send two people home. One man, one woman gotta go. So he talks to the men and he talks to the women. And it was just interesting to see who said who. Tony told the men that he kissed Morgan. And when the men were deliberating over the women that they didn't want to stay, Andre is real butthurt about Mercedes. So he definitely said her name. But Tony said that Monique threw a wrench in the game, that she, he's really feeling her. And he also said that Marcia was right under Morgan. Like, what? Does Morgan know this? I don't think so. So on the chopping block, you got Anthony and Mark Anthony. So what's interesting to me is that Anthony's name was said the same amount of times, about the same amount of times as Blake's was. Mark Anthony's name was said more than them. So the bottom two was Mark Anthony and Anthony, but it really should have been Mark Anthony and Blake, if you ask me. I mean, that kind of was crazy, but we know they're gonna keep this dude around just because. So Anthony gets to go back, and then the ladies actually use the lifeline on Mark Anthony. So that was interesting. And so Morgan is pissed because Blake is still there. I feel you, girl. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So then the ladies that have to go up for elimination are Janique and Sue Ann, which is interesting because they didn't put Blake out there. And Sue Ann's name was only said like 3 times. Well, who knows? I only, I can only comment on what we saw. The person that got let go was Janique. And look at Tony's face. This was Tony's face when Janique got let go. He was feeling that. He was feeling that girl. But she left gracefully. She's cute. Can't wait to see her interview. After Janique left, Tommy was like, I bet y'all wish y'all would have used that lifeline. Now, at first I was thinking they have to save that lifeline for when it really is going to count. I was under the impression that they were going to be able to use it the whole time throughout. But I should have known better because Tommy be throwing his curveballs. So they lost the lifeline. They didn't even use it. So and it's kind of messed up because like Cynthia said, Janique did have connections, so it wasn't fair that she was the one to go. But everything happens for a reason. Usually the people that get cut early, miss out on some unnecessary drama. So her interview should be good too, because I like her. I like her personality. So then Tommy says nobody else is going to go home this week. Y'all need to go ahead and just work your connections and, go on these other dates. So there was a date at Anthony's house. Sue Ann went over there and he cooked for her. And on that date, Sue Ann said, before that date, Sue Ann said that he was hanging on by a thread. And so she, asked him about the people on his list. Was she on his list? He said yes. And then, as she was waiting for him to elaborate, he was just like silent. But I again, the cameras are right there, so he just looked like he was a little bit nervous about what else to say. But he did say that he wanted to dance with her before she left, and the dance apparently was really good enough to keep her interested because she said that part, boosted the date. So he gets some points for that, but he got to be a little more assertive. The dance put him back in the game. So Mercedes goes on a date with Mark Anthony, and this is how that date went. Pretty much, they were just lusting over each other, and they have huge sexual chemistry. And this is how they ended. This is why she didn't give a fuck about Andreas, because this is what she want to be right here. Okay, this is exactly where she want to be. But they shared about both wanting to get their pilot's license, and so that date went pretty good. Then you got Tony and Morgan. Now, this also was another conversation where she let her crazy come out a little bit because she's serious. She's telling this Bama, look, you need to get it together. I done picked you, and you need to pick me. And so, it's gonna get interesting from here because this is only episode 7, and he's still actively feeling Marcia. So, we'll just see how this goes because a lot of these ladies are spicy. So I can see it heating up a little bit more. But she told him to clean it up and get it together. But I'm telling y'all, look at his face. He likes this shit. He likes this shit. This is shit he lived for right here. Smooth Tony from up top. So Blake asked Morgan out on a date because he wanted to try to get understanding of why she was hurt. right? She corrected him and was like, I'm not hurt. I have to like you to be hurt. I don't care about you. But she really like read him his rights on this date. Look how far away she's sitting from him. She purposely was like, I'm gonna sit way over here. When she set her cup down, she said that. But he is really but they are really like repelling each other on this date. She's telling him that he's a fraud, he's an imposter. I'm reading between the lines. A fraud and an imposter, what is he faking on? I don't know. Y'all get in the comments below, let me know. But she was really, really giving it to him, and he really was not feeling her either. It was just an unfortunate conversation. Like, no, I couldn't even see them together anyway. But on this date, he apologized for making her feel how she felt, which I hate that kind of apology. But as they go on, she actually asked him, what are you apologizing for? How can you apologize for something and you don't even know what you're apologizing for? That was where it just started going downhill. And she told him that that's what she told him. He was unkind. And she said he attacked her about, wanting to have kids. And she just ran it down. And she asked him who hurt him. Okay. She said he's not honest. He's toying with women's emotions. And he's an imposter. Y'all tell me what that means to y'all. I don't know. It wasn't a good situation. So next episode, the men meet the ladies' exes, and this is gonna be a good episode because the particular date that I want to see is the one with Cynthia, Andre, and Cynthia's ex. Because Cynthia's ex reminds me a little bit of Andre. Is it just me? He reminds me a little bit of Andre, but it seemed like he was bringing that heat when he was bringing them questions, and Cynthia was just sitting there like she was watching a tennis match. But it should be very interesting to see who the ladies' exes are, what kind of questions they ask, how the guys are going to relate to the exes, because, sometimes the men get intimidated and don't really want to talk to somebody from the past who used to be with the person they trying to get with. So, it's about to get a little bit more interesting. I don't really know what I see for these couples. I could just tell you the couples that I like, and let me see if it's more than one, because I do like Mark Anthony and Mercedes, but to be honest, I am getting a feeling that is all lust. I feel like they are both just lusting after each other. But I like Mercedes and Mark Anthony because they look cute together, and I like the fact that they do have chemistry. And out of the people that are there, I don't really see Mercedes with anybody else. Now, I actually like Andre and Cynthia together. So I'm rooting for Mercedes and Mark Anthony, Andre and Cynthia. And you know what? I really want to see Blue get with somebody. Who did he say that he liked? He said, I wrote it all down. Hold on. Blue said that he liked Jeffrey and Marcia, and I actually see Blue with Marcia over Jeffrey, but we will see how that plays out, because all these curveballs, who knows what's going to be the next thing that Tommy come in and make them do or not do. So, like the video, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you thought of the episode. What part stood out to you? Like, who are the couples that you think are going to come out of this? And who is going home next? How long is Blake going to be there? I just want to know. Somebody tell me. Anyway, I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Peace.